Soccer fans, welcome into Zions Bank Stadium, home of the Real Monarchs, in this Western Conference matchup between El Paso Locomotive and the Monarchs in a rematch of the 2019 Western Conference Finals. I'm Landon Southwick, joined alongside my partner tonight, Tom Hackett, for the match. Tom, let's check out some storylines for tonight's game, and we mentioned that it is a rematch where the Monarchs took a 2-1 victory in the 120th minute. All-time Monarchs lead the series 1-0-2, and the Monarchs are third in the group, and El Paso is second in the group so far. Players to watch: Josue Aron Gomez, 3 goals in 3 games, second-year player on loan from FC Juarez, and a guy to keep an eye on tonight if the Monarchs are going to have success. Player to watch for the Monarchs, number 48, the captain, Jack Blake, instrumental in the Monarchs' 2-1 win late, taking the free kick. 1 goal in 4 games so far in this season, and a guy to keep an eye out on. We'll take a quick break and be back live with starting lineups next. Tonight's match is brought to you by America First Credit Union, the official credit union of the Real Monarchs. By MarketStar. Explore something more at MarketStar. Visit marketstar.com for careers. By Steward Healthcare, the official healthcare provider of the Real Monarchs. Visit stewardutah.org. And by Zions Bank, for banking that helps you tackle every financial challenge. Zions Bank is for you.
We all have needs, hopes, and dreams. Things to do, places to go, and a life to live. And whatever goals you have, America First is here to help you achieve them. We're here to provide the financial tools and services you need to take care of your family, your home, or your business. We're here to help you keep moving forward. Whatever you need, for what matters most, we're here to help. America First, federally insured by NCUA.
Hey Justin, Jeanette, what's going on?
Hey DJ, we're just trying to find out ways to keep fans in RSL gear.
And I'm contemplating how to use this F-150 to fight hunger in Utah.
Oh, I got it. Have this sweet RSL neck wrap. And thanks to Ford, you can have one too. All proceeds are going to go to help the Utah Food Bank feed families in need. We're hoping to raise $50,000.
Fashion that fights hunger? Now this is a winning combination. Can I get a high five?
Really?
Nice day for a ride.
Hey, you're Craig Swap.
You know, not everyone sees you when you're on 2 wheels. So stay alert and always keep your eyes on the path ahead.
That's good advice.
See you at the top.
Nice shorts.
You can't always predict what might sneak up and catch you by surprise. If you've been hurt by the carelessness of others, choose the law firm that will go the distance to get you the settlement you deserve. Craig Swap and Associates, 1 call, that's all.
We're back here live at Zions Bank Stadium with the starting lineup for both sides. Tonight's starting lineup is brought to you by MarketStar. Explore something more at MarketStar. Visit marketstar.com for careers. Let's start with the visitors and Coach Mark Lowry's side.
Ketterer in goal, Rebellion, Ndoko, Jerome and Fox, you're back 4. Ross, Yuma, Salgado, Mares. Chapa is coming off a brace with Gomez. 3 goals in 3 games up top for El Paso.
Let's check out the starters for Hamas and Alave's side and the Real Monarchs.
Jimmy Slayton remains in goal. Nicholas Jimenez will play right back alongside Taylor Pay and James Moberg, who holds down the centre back. Noah Powder at left back. Andrew Brody, the live wire, up the right-hand side with Jack Blake, the captain, alongside Sam Brown in the middle of the park. Luke Mulholland returns from his first-team duties. They've got him slotted on the left with Kyle Coffey and the young academy product Luis Arriaga up top.
Starting lineups brought to you by MarketStar. Explore something more at MarketStar. Visit marketstar.com for careers. The United Soccer League, all 35 championship clubs and its players stand together in support of diversity, inclusion, equality, and compassion. Please join us for a 15-second moment of silence as we are all united against racism. Both teams out on the pitch after that moment of silence and almost ready to get going. Sun has hidden behind the Ochre Mountains on the west, and we are underway here at Zions Bank Stadium. First ball played up over by the Monarchs, and it'll go out of play for a throw-in for El Paso. El Paso moving from south to north here in Zions Bank Stadium. Noah Powder trying to sneak it back to James Moberg. Yuma, the Spaniard, trying a nice little flick there to get it back to his teammates, but unable to do so.
It's good to be back at Harriman. Landon's last couple of home games we've done have been at Rio Tinto Stadium, of course, but we're back to the home of the Monarchs. The Zebra, as people around here call it.
Yeah, and a beautiful facility here, a beautiful night for soccer. Fairly warm, 95 degrees today. Temperature starting to cool off as Jimmy Slayton plays that out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for El Paso. El Paso in their white tops with sky blue down the chest and blue shorts. Monarchs in their all-blue kits with the yellow trim down the sides. Ball playing forward, trying to find the likes of Coffee as Jack Blake's going to be taken down from behind by Ross, the Scotsman. Blake trying to get it going. Home team head coach Hamas and Alave guided the squad to a championship in 2019.
Finally got things going a couple weeks ago now, I guess, against Colorado, 2-1 victory. First victory of the season, believe it or not. And
a lot of people think it took a little too long, but
as they should.
Yep. Ball played inside the box. Beautiful ball there from Powder trying to find Coffee and headed away at the last minutes by Fox. Monarchs are going to get their first corner of the night, and a beautiful ball there by Noah Powder, and that's what you like to see early on from the Monarchs.
Try and get the ball into a deep and dangerous area. Put pressure on that back four for El Paso, and Noah Powder taking the corner.
Head coach for El Paso, Mark Lowry, done a phenomenal job managing this side. Powder is going to play the corner in short, just over the head of Coffee, and it's going to be played out by El Paso. Brody will keep it in. He's going to go forward to Powder. Powder's going to run at the defense. Nice step over, cuts back in. Looked like he had a push from behind. Goes down fairly easily, though. This game's going to take a few to get into the flow. Like we mentioned, these two sides last time they met was a very intense, very full Zions Bank Stadium and a 2-1 victory for the Monarchs late. But the other two times, 0-0 draws between the two sides. Salgado making a nice overlap run. Former #1 pick in MLS with the Vancouver Whitecaps. Ball's taken away, nice opportunity there. And a decent start from El Paso. Brody picks up his head. He's looking forward, trying to get a ball forward to Coffee. Coffee gets around Nantoko. Waiting for assistance as he'll pull it back.
It's good to see Luke Mulholland back on the pitch. Landon, he's had a rough go the last couple of years with injury, and it's good to see number 19 out there doing his thing. It looks like he's parked himself in the middle of the park alongside his fellow countryman and captain of the Monarchs, Jack Blake.
Ball played in the box, settled with his chest by Rebellion. He'll play forward. Finds Salgado. Salgado does a nice job to keep hold-up play for a second and play it back to his center back. One of the things the Monarchs are going to need to have tonight is cohesion between that midfield line and Kyle Coffey, who's kind of sitting alone up top on the point.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Luis Arriaga offers. It looks like he, as you mentioned, playing slightly behind Kyle Coffey. I thought last home game for Kyle Coffey was very impressive out there at the Riot. He was incredibly, here we go. The referee's our favorite segment, Landon.
Brad Jensen is our center referee tonight. Karsten Gilwald, Bennett Savage, and Jordan Downs is our fourth official. Last time Brad Jensen centered a game here in the USL Championship was at Rio Tinto Stadium in the Monarchs home not technically the opener from the restart against San Diego Loyal.
That was an interesting match.
And a tough game for the Monarchs. He's ref 13 USL Championship games, 42 yellows, 0 reds, and 2 PKs during that time. So something to keep an eye out on.
Tough match for the Monarchs. Tough match for Mr. Jensen himself.
Arriaga, he's going to get it wide. The academy product for the Monarchs. Getting it wide to Powder. Powder tries to make a nice through ball to himself around the defense. That one gets cut off. It'll be a throw-in for the Monarchs.
It's going to be a fun matchup to watch. Noah Powder going toe-to-toe with Rebellion. I think that's something to keep an eye on. Luis Arriaga in that build-up was exciting as well. Young academy product, got a lot to offer. Pretty tidy on both left and right foot, and he sees the game so well, which is fun. Moberg has a cannon of a throw-in.
We've seen this a few times from James Moberg, something he's done really well. He'll take the long throw and puts it inside the box, trying to find Taylor Pay. Cleared away, but not completely. Monarchs will keep it. Trying to get the ball back out wide to Moberg. They do so. Moberg, a rough challenge from behind by Salgado. Salgado seized him up, took a crack, and down goes Moberg, as you'll see a replay on that.
It's a foul. I'm not entirely sure what Salgado's all that upset about. He put his hip and shoulder into the back of Moberg. And it's a good call from Mr. Jensen, our head referee.
Monarchs will have a free kick here from the left side. Blake and Powder standing over it.
I was just going to say, Landon, this is where the Monarchs are really dangerous, because they can go with Blake and put an in-swinger, or they can go with the left peg of Powder, potentially get in and behind towards that near post. I think they've had a lot of success. Taylor Pay, the center back, leads the team in goals. I mean, this is a big reason why. Free kicks, corners, good deliveries.
Two-man wall for El Paso. Line from El Paso held just above the 18. Brad Jensen's going to back up the wall just a step or two.
I should know, you don't want your leading goal scorer to be a center back.
That might change. Blake sends the ball inside the box. Tantalizing ball just in front of Kyle Coffey. Got it around the wall, but didn't have enough hang to really give guys a chance to get there, as Ketterer gets in on the action today for really the first time.
Didn't quite hit that ball as well as he would have liked. He was upset with himself, and rightly so, but it's a decent miss hit nonetheless. Gives his team an opportunity.
MLS is back. Real Salt Lake makes their long-awaited return to Rio Tinto to face last year's MVP, Carlos Vela and LAFC on August 26th. Catch all the action right here on the KSL TV app with the pregame starting at 7 p.m. Moberg, nice little step there to get there. Ball played across. Jack Blake. The hands on his back for Mares. Brody is going to size up the defense, and decide to pull it back and play it along the back line of the Monarchs. Hominis Olave giving instruction to his team up off the bench, as well as the same from Mark Lowry. Blake gets taken out in the midfield. I think there was a foul called. Yuma's trying to figure out what's going on. Blake still down, holding his left ankle.
Yeah, it looked like a late challenge on Blake. It'd be interesting to see if we can get a replay of that, as to how late it was and whether or not there was contact made. But our head referee didn't quite think there was. It's hard to tell.
Left it in a touch late. I think Jack's making a little bit of a meal of it. but something you can't leave in. Yuma, the Spaniard. Not sure what's going on.
Conversation between Yuma and Blake. Yuma's the type of player for El Paso. He likes to control the midfield. You can see him. Those that are at the stadium anyway, maybe if you're watching this via the broadcast, it's harder to tell, but 24 for El Paso. He directs a lot of traffic in the midfield and tells his teammates where they need to be to best set up creative opportunities going forward. He's a key player for El Paso.
Well, last week had the task of sitting in the center back position due to injuries to his squad, but did a phenomenal job to help get the 4-2 victory. It was really, the goals came late, and it was a victory once they scored for the 4th in the 68th.
I'm not breaking any news here, but early in the game, no goals have been scored. A few attacking opportunities, but no great ones. These passages of play here where you can knock the ball around the back line, really important. Can midfielders find space? There's Luke, decides to play it back to Jimenez, but just get the opposition running, have control of the football, and control the tempo. I think that's really important for both teams.
Brody going up the right side, cuts in. Two defenders come together and dispossess Brody. Didn't get a mention Jimenez, as he's going to be on the defense there. Gets in on the action, making his first start for the Monarchs on the 2020 season after coming over from Argentina.
I have a hard time faulting Brody because when he gets the football, he's so electrifying. He's so fun to watch. And he takes on the opposition, no matter if there's 3, 4. I mean, there could be a brick wall there. He'll try and run through it with the football at his feet. But, in that occasion, it just seemed as though he probably should have played it back and controlled the football. Here's a guy I really like, number 26, Arriaga.
Arriaga getting in on the action to Blake. Blake, nice little move there, gets around the defense. Ball played inside, trying to find Coffee. Powder lifting up his arms, hoping that it comes over to him. But it'll go out for a goal kick.
It's the right idea. A lot of 1-2s. Keep the ball moving, don't get stagnant. Try and find space. They got into an attacking opportunity. Jack Blake thought there was a chance for a cross. He overhit it, but I like where the head's at.
Ketterer, good ball placement there. And El Paso will keep possession. Rebellion over to Salgado. Salgado and Powder going at it. Salgado kind of had an interesting moment here to end the game in the Western Conference semis. And one that a lot of fans remember, where it kind of got heated as the game ended. So something to keep an eye on, maybe a little bit of blood still out there. But with the new season, El Paso sitting in a good spot, 2-2-2 on the season, 8 points. Monarchs sitting on 4 points. And really in this group, there's really a chance for 3 teams to move on. But every game like this seems to be a little more important because of the situation we're in. Not a super long season, and it's kind of one of those where you're going to see everybody. You got to take points, especially at home.
Certainly. I think both teams have done a good job as of late, scoring goals and picking up points. Chapa, Gomez, for example, for El Paso, have put the ball in the back of the onion bag. And of course, the Monarchs, as we mentioned earlier, picked up their first 3 points of the season a few weeks ago, last game against Colorado. So
2 weeks ago, both teams coming off a victory, and both teams actually coming off a victory against the Switchbacks. As you'll see a replay as Jack Blake is fouled from behind as he gets rid of the ball. Maybe a little bit of the reason why that ball wasn't to one of his teammates. But like I was mentioning, Locomotive with a 4-2 victory over the Switchbacks. Monarchs with a 2-1 victory in the dying moments of that game. But both teams on the front foot, at least, with a win in their last game, and looking to make it a winning streak at this point.
I think as long as it's not a 0-0 draw, which is what it's been during the regular season with these two clubs, I think we'll be happy.
And I think all fans could probably echo that.
I hope so.
Depending on the side of the fan base. Have to get a shout out to the 8th Notch. Here there's a Zoom call going on. Hopefully they're enjoying the game today, and they're an incredible fan base that shows up really strong. And it's unfortunate that this is all going on, that we're not getting a chance to see some of the great supporter groups in the USL Championship, like the Wasatch Legion, like 8th Notch.
Shout out to the Wasatch Legion who showed up yet again.
Sitting in a different location today, but a throw-in coming for the Monarchs. And another opportunity for the Monarchs from this side, and another James Moberg long throw-in. Keep an eye on Taylor Pay. Jimenez is up there as well, and Sam Brown. You really have everybody, Jimenez is the only one back. Essentially, you have everybody up inside the 18, except for a few players sitting on top of the 18. Powder with a crack! My goodness. Just over the bar and took that one out of thin air and almost made magic.
I mean, that's as good of a strike as you will see, not just in the USL, but in the major leagues. As you can look at Europe and you wouldn't see a ball struck that well. I mean, what a strike. The technique to wrap the left peg around it, right to left rotation, and my goodness, a foot over the crossbar. If not, that would have been goal of the year. I would have easily.
That'd have been pretty impressive. Gomez with Pay in front of him. Gomez tries to play it in the box, defended nicely by Taylor Pay, as Gomez had light for a second. Pay recovered with the long legs, and it'll be a throw-in for Rebellion. 16th minute of play, still scoreless here at Zions Bank Stadium. Smaller crowd on hand here with social distancing regulations still in effect. Gomez kind of triple teamed. Ball inside the box for Gomez, and that one's cut out. Mulholland trying to find Arriaga, plays it out, and it'll be a throw-in again for El Paso. Join us on Wednesday night right here at Zions Bank Stadium for the Monarchs tilt with former RSL striker Devin Sandoval and New Mexico United. Tickets are limited, so call 844-REAL-TICK or visit realmonarchs.com now.
Sandoval coming off a goal.
Yeah.
I believe. Read that, he scored.
El Paso New Mexico win with the 1-0 victory tonight over Switchbacks FC, as they continue to sit atop the group.
Those long locks of Sandoval, they'll forever be entrenched in my brain.
And one of the things, Tom, we haven't talked about with the goal or with the group situation so far, with the win tonight, New Mexico sits on 13 points, El Paso 8, Monarchs 4, Switchbacks 4. But the Monarchs have 2 games in hand as play starts to build a little bit there for the Monarchs. And knocked across the end line, it'll be a goal kick, or excuse me, a corner kick for the Monarchs, their second of the evening. Jack Blake will trot out to take the corner in this 18th minute of play.
I was just going to say, Group C standing, as you mentioned, the Monarchs with 4 points through 4 games played. They would have liked to have done more, but so be it, as Blake
takes the corner short, plays it back. Blake going forward, trying to find Powder, and that play was designed on the training pitch. Counterattack coming from El Paso. Oh, Jimenez gets the heel into that one and stops the counterattack by El Paso. And man, if that ball had slid through, El Paso might have been in with 2 players. It was really a 3v2 in that situation, and what could have been an exciting opportunity.
Look, it was a set play from the Monarchs, with Blake taking the short corner kick, and the right idea, you know, but Noah Powder didn't have any space to operate in. So in hindsight, you're probably better off putting the ball into the area and seeing if the likes of Taylor Pay and Big James Moberg can put their helmet on something.
We'll give them credits. That was well read by El Paso. And one of the things that I think they're starting to key up on is a lot of kind of that set-piece play really goes between Blake and Powder.
Certainly. I think Mulholland has also added something through the first 19-odd minutes of this match. Just some composure in the heart of the midfield, a veteran player that's played at the highest level here in North America. He knows where to go. He's a ball magnet, if you will, and I think the composure he offers is immense for the Monarchs, as they look like they're
Jack
building
Blake trying to find Coffee.
Coffee, heavy touch.
Sam Brown trying to find Arriaga. Arriaga able to spin and knock it back to James Moberg, the University of Washington product.
Lovely university.
One of the many.
Have you been up to
It's beautiful.
Oh my goodness, right on the water there. Must be nice.
Not a bad campus. One of the many connections that we had with Craig Weibel. A lot of those guys had that connection. And it seemed to be most guys were from the University of Washington for a period of time. Still got a handful of those here around the club.
Still kicking it.
Fox, big switch across, all the way across the defense. Gomez is going to be taken down from behind. And then a foul called, and I'm not sure.
Wow.
I'd be frustrated if I was El Paso there. Felt like the first foul should have been called, but Chapa Herrera is going to be called for the foul and a quick restart by the Monarchs.
Certainly an interesting decision, but play must go on. I do feel as though the Monarchs are on top. They've had 2 corner kicks. El Paso yet to get one. And they just look more lively around the ball. Space here for Arriaga, and that ball from Powder just need to be a bit more aggressive.
Ketterer plays it forward, headed down by Salgado. Heavy or awkward touch there by Sam Brown as he put it right back to Gomez.
Just lackadaisical from Sam Brown. Oh, look at that
Brody
nutmeg.
in, through, around, inside the 18, trying to play it inside the box. No one home on top of the 18, but the idea was almost there. Jimenez comes forward, and an opportunity counterattack coming. Ball out wide to Salgado. Moberg in front of him. Salgado's gonna size him up. Salgado trying to turn the defense. Still on top of the 18, clips it back, and trying to find Fox. But Andrew Brody was there to defend it away.
Salgado had a pocket of space where he could have let the trigger go on his left foot and instead decided to cut it back on his right. By the time he did that, Noah Powder did a nice job running back, closing down all space that was once there. But look, that's where El Paso looked dangerous. He's on the counter-attack, a turnover deep in their own half. They got guys running, and they've had a few opportunities. Now, they haven't been able to make the most of them, and in fact, they haven't been able to generate a shot because of it. But one or two heavy touches away from potentially
bad ball there for the Monarchs.
Peppering Jimmy Slayton.
Numbers in the defense for Monarchs. El Paso decided to play it back as Gomez went down. What probably could have been called a foul. He's defended again by Jimenez. Ross going forward. Plays it out wide. Defended nicely by the Monarchs. All seems a little sloppy all around. This foul's going to be called on Taylor Pay, and it'll be a decent distance and an opportunity coming here for El Paso here in the 22nd minute of play.
This is about as good of a distance as one free kick taker could ask for. 30-odd yards out, give or take. You know, plenty of space to be able to generate enough power and enough curve to potentially go top bins and cause old Jimmy Slayton, number 55, who's in goal for the Monarchs, some stress.
Mares had a goal last week from a free kick from just about this distance, maybe a couple feet forward, but a beautiful free kick by him to open scoring in the 17th minute of play against Switchbacks FC, and we'll see if he can repeat his magic from last week. Plays it in, Slayton goes down, hits the bar, and played out. And that was a beautiful free kick there from Mares. And it almost went in, as you're gonna see a replay look at this.
Like I said, enough space. I think Jimmy Slayton might have got a hand on that. And it was required because it was going into the bottom left-hand corner. But nice work from Jimmy Slayton. Very, very impressive free kick. And that's the best opportunity of the match, despite the Monarchs having more creative opportunity.
First corner for El Paso, played inside the box, headed still inside the box, and pushed out by Noah Powder, and they'll get a second opportunity at this from that far side. Mares will take the corner kick once again. Got to keep an eye on Salgado, defended by Jimenez. Just in front of the PK spot. Ball played inside the box again. Ball pops out. And a decent looking opportunity to begin with for Rebellion, but puts that one, kind of hits it to the turf first, and it bounces away wide of goal.
It was the right idea. Look, they did water this pitch rather heavily. Now, it is turf, and it is rather warm, so there's a chance the turf's starting to get a bit sticky, but if you can somehow skid the football, it's incredibly difficult to save if you're a goalkeeper.
The champs are back, and with 5 out of the next 6 at home, it's time to get on the roll in front of our fans. Tickets are limited, so call 844-REAL-TICKS or visit realmonarchs.com now to book your next family adventure. Tickets for the next handful of Monarchs games. A lot of action in the next week. Tonight, Wednesday, and Saturday, as Powder gets taken out from behind from Rebellion, and it looks like he maybe had that foot to go in and an opportunity, but it'll be a foul called. It'll essentially be a short corner,
Sure.
and then in a touch.
No, it's the right call. It was a foul. Noah Powder had both men beat from El Paso, and I like the decision as we watch the replay. Oh, look at that. Nutmeg, and then that's a rash challenge. I mean, he comes in late. Not entirely sure what he's upset about, but Noah Powder. Hey, Carl Coffey had a great flick on to put Noah Powder in space. That's what Carl Coffey's in the team to do. He's a link-up player, and occasionally, well, more often than not,
He's a poacher a lot of times,
he just
too.
He's got a magnet in his boot.
And that's what you have to do. Jack Blake will stand over this free kick. One man in the wall.
Needs a better delivery than the last free
Line
kick.
on top of the PK spot. Ball falls in. Nantoko, it kind of goes through his legs, almost falls into an on-rushing Mulholland.
Now that was the type of delivery Jack Blake was after earlier in the match. What a devilish free kick that was. Ketterer, the goalkeeper for El Paso, didn't quite know what to do with it. He was caught in no man's land there. Do I come out and punch, or do I let it go and see if it trickles out for a goal kick? And in the end, he was fortunate. Probably should have come out and put 2 fists onto it.
And one of those tough spots to be in as a keeper.
Right.
Getting caught in that no man's land. Has a big frame. He's 6'3", so it's not like his jumping ability with his fists above are going to miss too many balls. But that one was kind of one of those decisive positions where he really had to make a decision and do something.
Salgado not happy.
Taylor Pay ushers that one out. I think he was asking the AR here on the near side if it was going to be a corner or a goal kick, and I think he got confirmation it was going to be a goal kick, so he let it run.
He's still not happy. You love the energy somebody like Salgado brings to any team. Although he didn't leave the Monarchs on his best terms last match, still, it's exciting.
Jack Blake plays it up over top. Beautiful ball. Ketterer off his line. Hits it, and the Monarchs have an opportunity. See if they can get a shot. Ketterer rushing back towards goal. But a decent opportunity as Ketterer was way off his line. Ball still played in the box. Trickles. Looks like it takes a deflection, and Ketterer will fall on that one.
Oh, let me tell you, old Ketterer in goal for El Paso. He's counting his lucky stars. The last couple minutes haven't been kind to him. From the Jack Blake free kick that he got caught in no man's land to the almost absolute whiff on the attempted clearance just a few seconds ago. He's fortunate that Carl Coffey and Luis Arriaga weren't able to link up cleaner, because that net was wide open. And these players in the USL, they're good enough to hit the target from, well, essentially midfield or deeper if there's no goalkeeper there.
Well, and I kept wondering if Arriaga was going to try to take a crack. It looked like El Paso closed down nicely on him and gave the Wisconsin native a chance to get back in his nets.
The ball just bobbled. It's kind of the problem you have when you play on turf, artificial turf as opposed to grass. The ball can just, it's uncomfortable. It kind of bobbles more than it does on grass, and I think that's what happened with Arriaga earlier.
But a good decision to come off his line. And I think that's the one thing we have to give him plenty of credit for. He doesn't come off his line. Powder's in 1v1 with him.
That was the right decision originally. It was just bad execution. How do you feel about turf versus grass?
Beautiful combination there as Coffey slips, and it goes back to Ketterer. You know, personally, I was a defender and spent a lot of time playing on turf throughout my career, but grass always feels better to fall on. It doesn't leave the wounds, but this pitch here, the size of it is incredible.
Beautiful pitch.
The turf is actually some of the nicest turf that I've ever played on. So you really can't hate on that. So it really comes down to preference, and I know I've talked to a handful of guys, and they don't mind playing on this turf. Obviously, grass is great, and the way this team's, or the club, excuse me, as a whole, keeps track of their pitches and the beauty that they provide And, I mean, it's incredible if you have a chance to go down and check out the fields that at Rio Tinto Stadium or here below this stadium here in the complex, in the Zebra. Dan Farnes and his team, Brett Call, all those guys do a phenomenal job making sure these pitches are always ready.
Night and day, those guys work. And you know what? I'm going to give them a bell because I've got some gopher problems myself in the backyard. I've got dirt mounds, Landon, and anyway, we can talk about that another time.
Thankfully, none of that going on here at Zions Bank Stadium. 30th minute of play, still scoreless between these two sides, and really neither team with that decisive opportunity.
There was a free kick that ended up hitting the woodwork.
That's about as close as we get.
And then the Monarchs have had far more of the attacking opportunities. Just haven't been able to make the most of it.
Salgado picking up his head, looking at the defense, had to play it quickly. Slayton's going to come out and collect it. Jimmy Slayton, University of Hartford, in his first season, coming off his first professional win in nets last week with the 2-1 victory. Still looking for an opportunity to have continued success with it. Ball played across, too far and too high for Kyle Coffey. That one's going to cross the end line. It'll be a goal kick, and I think we're going to have our hydration break here for the first half. And we're going to check out some highlights from the first half so far.
We don't get a hydration break ourselves.
Grab your water. Let's go. Let's check out some of the highlights so far.
It was Jack Blake missed free kick, and then have a look at this, would you? Wham! Boy, that missed by a foot, and he couldn't have hit it any purer. Lander, that is, it's just so much fun to watch. It's why you come down to watch the Monarchs play.
And he's a guy that has played incredibly well for this Monarch side. And you have to remember, he's very, very young. And I think that's the big talking point for him. As you see a couple of those angles there on that free kick.
And I do think Jimmy Slater ended up getting a hand to it, a palm to it, which is nicely done. It's a great technique, over the wall, dipping. Look, there have been opportunities this match. I think we will have a goal. I do not think it's going to end 0-0, but don't hold me to that.
And I don't think that's wrong, as you can check out some fans in the crowd wearing masks and being in their socially distanced locations. It's kind of funny to see people in their sparse spots.
Shout out to the fans.
Yeah, you got to love it.
Thanks for wearing them.
But one of the things I've got to say is you got to look at Noah Powder, born in 1998, a young guy. He's made 30 appearances and 29 starts for the Monarchs, and over his career made over 100 appearances. And he's that guy that just is, he's won 2 championships, yeah, and he's just a phenomenal player, and hopefully some more success coming for him here in the future.
There are a handful of guys, and they're pretty easy to pick out, that just, they have something about them when they play the game, an air of confidence, not arrogance, but confidence, and they back themselves to the hills anytime they get the football at their own feet, and they know where to go, and Noah Powder's one of them, and I'm really excited. Him, Andrew Brody, a number of other individuals out there tonight. I'm really excited to see where their professional career takes them, because I do think it has the potential to be quite good.
Well, and another one on the opposite side that you have to look at is Chapa Herrera.
Certainly. Gomez, another guy. I mean,
there's a few guys that just have, you know, that work ethic. They do what they need. It sounds like great players for their coach. I know that Chapa Herrera was giving credit all to the coach, to Mark Lowry, for what he's done. And it really was kind of fun to hear, and that's going to be a yellow card there on Chapa Herrera for the professional foul as he takes down Noah Powder. I don't know if he had to sacrifice himself in that position, but decided to take the foul, and he'll see yellow here in the 34th minute.
I think it was more out of frustration than anything. You know, you're in the midst of a game, it happens. You don't like being beaten as a competitor, these professionals, and sometimes instinct just happens to get the better of you.
Las Vegas takes center stage August 25th when the Lights FC take on Orange County SC on ESPN Deportes, looking to maintain the pace set in Group B Both Las Vegas Lights and Orange County face a must-win on the national stage. Don't miss the drama unfolding August 25th at 10 p.m. on ESPN Deportes.
I think everybody in the world deserves to have the same view we currently have.
Breathtaking.
It's beautiful, isn't it? It's majestic.
Ochre Mountains to the west, Wasatch Mountains behind us, and a beautiful kind of colored painted sky.
And it's every night.
And the west side,
here
as you're
in
seeing
Utah.
some of that mountains on the top of your screen. Jack Blake calling for it here on the near side, puts his arms up, trying to find the run behind Jerome for Coffee, and that seems to kind of be the game plan. Ball given away on top of the 18. Luke Mulholland inside the 18 takes a shot, a deflection, and Ketterer pushes it wide. And the Monarchs with a shot on goal. Ketterer had to react late to that deflection, but did a good job to keep it out of the nets.
Yeah, Andrew Brody picking the pass off very nicely. Cut back on his non-preferred. Didn't hit it as well as Luke Mulholland would have liked, but it was fine in the back of the net nonetheless, and Ketterer was asked to make a save and does so. Another corner kick for the Monarchs. That's kind of what you get with Andrew Brody. He's so fast, he's so agile, he's so elusive that anytime the ball comes near him, you have to be at your best. Otherwise, he'll pickpocket you just like he did there and springboard and tap.
Third corner of the match coming from the Monarchs. Ball's going to be swung in, headed, pushed towards the back, still inside the 18. Jimenez is going to chase it down. He'll look to let it roll into the bench of El Paso. Will allow the Monarchs to kind of reset.
It'll be interesting to see the adjustments made by Hammerson Alave with Kyle Coffey. He's been quiet. Now they have honored a handful of his runs. The execution on those passes hasn't been adequate. But certainly Kyle Coffey's a player that the Monarchs would love to get more involved. He's a live wire. He's very elusive himself, and he's dangerous, more importantly. And he has been kept quiet. Credit the defense, though, for El Paso, the likes of Jerome and Toko have done a nice job kind of hovering around number 57, Kyle Coffey.
The only thing that I've seen that the Monarchs are trying to do is trying to get in behind Nantoko and Jerome with the run of Coffey, and that's really been it. It's not playing it up high because
sure.
Jerome and Nantoko have done a phenomenal job aerially.
Sure.
But it really is that kind of slid through ball from Jack Blake or Noah Powder trying to find that run.
Granted,
Kyle
it seems
Coffey.
like the strategy for the Monarchs as well is to play Noah Powder on the left, Andrew Brody on the right, and then whip balls in, try and find space in behind. And that plays against what Kyle Coffey enjoys. He wants them to attack more centrally, 1-2 combination plays, much like we're seeing here if they can execute.
But being a poacher, that's one of the things that'll play into his game. And you really haven't seen anything really connected from El Paso. And you have to wonder if Mark Lowry's going to make some adjustments at halftime. I know you really haven't seen Gomez get anything with him. Anytime he's been in the attack, it's really been solo, or you've seen Salgado solo here on the right side. So it'll be interesting to see. Arriaga gets the ball in. Mulholland picks it up, puts it inside the box. Powder trying to get a touch, and I think it took a deflection in the last minute. It'll be a corner kick for the Monarchs.
And that's the best passage of play the Monarchs have had all night. The best passage of play any of the teams, El Paso or the Monarchs, have had. I mean, a lot of passing in and around the 18-yard line. Mulholland pulls the trigger. It was a good decision. Noah Powder, man, he would have liked to have that one again. On his left foot, all he had to do was get a touch, and it was going home. And unfortunately, just, again, the hop
looked like it was more defense that pushed that one wide, and maybe not as much a deflection as a direct touch from El Paso. Ball played in, sneaks across inside the 6, and goes out for a goal kick.
It's Kyle Coffey just popping up out of nowhere. You had a couple nice coffee puns last game we worked together.
Coffee and Powder. They go together.
Yeah. It's like you're a dad or something.
It's the instant powder. We just need a guy named Instant Powder equals coffee.
I hope you know. I just threw you a softball.
I know. The dad jokes.
That's funny.
From the two young dads. Nantoko. Rebellion. picks up his head, find the ball forward, trying to find Chapa Herrera. Keeps it in, does a nice job to keep it in. He has a player forward, out wide, ball inside the box. Opportunity there as Brody came rushing in late, and Gomez was almost Johnny on the spot in the perfect position to put that one away, as you're gonna get a replay look at this one. And Mares, you gotta give him credit, puts the ball perfectly into the on-rushing path of Gomez. But give Andrew Brody all the credit in the world, as he was there just in the perfect spot to make sure that an opportunity was not had on his goal. Blake tries to turn.
If El Paso are going to be dangerous this match, and they're going to look to secure 3 points, which I don't see any reason as to why they wouldn't, that's when they're most dangerous. Catching the Monarchs off guard and getting the ball, much like we see here. Look at the numbers, just flood into their attacking third. This is where they're at their best.
All out wide, running towards the defense. Looks like both players were kind of jockeying with their arms up, elbows up.
And the Monarchs have to be wary of that, because right now, they're controlling the game. And they're seemingly the better team. But, I mean, you blink, and all of a sudden, you'll be down a goal against this very dangerous El Paso Locomotive mob. And so yeah, it's a fun back and forth, to be frank. You know, it's two very different styles of play, and we've had a fair few pretty good creative attacking opportunities, and that is all anybody cares for. Now we need a goal.
And you'll start to see some things come through as the game goes on. 9 goals scored on the season for El Paso, 5 for the Monarchs. 4 of the 9 came in the last game against the Switchbacks. So essentially, before that, 5 goals in 4 games. Or excuse me, in 5 games. The 6th was the one that had all the magic. Moberg and Salgado kind of going at it. Moberg went down on the right far side of your screen and was looking towards the AR to see if anything was going to be called.
We're approaching the last 4 or 5 minutes, depending on how much stoppage time there is. And if I'm Mark Lowry, head coach of El Paso, I'm ordering my players to just relax, knock the ball around, and get into the halftime break at 0-0, and see if they can create an attacking opportunity late to give themselves some momentum.
Which is kind of what you're seeing here in the last couple, the possession a little bit more oriented here in the last few.
But don't be afraid to come back. I felt as though early in the match, they were very adamant at continuing to push the ball forward. They need to be a little more composed.
Good little combination play there from El Paso, as Mares is able to keep it with his side. Gomez spraying out wide. Rebellion back far post. If that one ball could have slipped through behind Powder, Rebellion was all by himself, but the defense was locked in on Salgado, making sure he didn't have an opportunity as the 3rd corner of the evening's coming for El Paso.
Well, that's what makes Salgado so dangerous, is his height. So he's a threat in the air, but you've also seen him utilize his speed and his touch. He's a talented player, old Salgado. I mean, he wears number 9 for a reason. Let's be frank. You don't just get the number 9. Guernsey.
He's had some success over his career, the El Paso native. Ball played inside the box. Salgado gets his head on it, and it flashes just wide. Speaking of him, almost able to find that one.
That's a good delivery.
Open the scoring.
Mares, I mean, what a treat he must be to play with. You know every time there's a set piece, whether it's a free kick or a corner, he's going to do exactly what you need, and another good corner.
The USL Elite pre-professional platform USL Academy allows clubs across the USL to build a pathway to pro soccer by bringing together top local youth talent. Following the success of the first Academy Cup events, clubs can now apply to participate in the USL Academy League, kicking off in spring of 2021. For more information, visit usl-academy.com or search #USL Academy on social media. Arriaga was very active early on, really hasn't seen much of the ball here in the last few, as there's going to be a trip up and a yellow card being shown. As Sam Brown is going to see yellow, and Brad Jensen wants to make sure he sees that yellow.
Oh, that's interesting. Feels like that's Sam Brown's first offense, but So we can take a look at the replay here. Salgado and Arriera there, you see, get caught up, and then
He clips him from behind.
I mean, it's a late challenge.
Yep.
And he knew what he was doing, so I can understand what Mr. Jensen saw there.
Sam Brown sees yellow here in the 45th minutes.
That's a silly yellow card. Landon, I just don't know if I agree with Sam Brown's.
Salgado, Moberg battling. Powder coming back to help. Salgado commanding a couple defenders. Rebellion plays it inside the box. Pay there. Defends it away, not completely, as Yuma is going to try to hold it in. Yuma is going to be fouled by Coffee. Frustration coming from both sides. Quick restart there from El Paso. Rebellion trying to get another opportunity. Nice combination play there. Salgado just outside the 18, ball pinging around. And a nice job there by Moberg. So we're gonna have stoppage time announced here shortly. Ball's gonna go out right in front of the fourth official. So he's gonna hold up the board for 2 minutes of stoppage. Stoppage time tonight is brought to you by America First Credit Union, the official credit union of the Real Monarchs. A throw-in for the Monarchs coming. 30 seconds through the unofficial, or 30 seconds unofficially through the 2 minutes.
You having a good time?
You know, this game has been interesting so far, and I think both sides, I think there's more to come. You just kind of feel there's maybe some animosity from both sides. I don't know if that has anything to do with the last time these two sides met up, but it's group play, and I think that's what I like about this style, Tom, is that both teams are gonna see each other 3 times in this group play, or excuse me, 3 times, and they're gonna go at it, and you know, it's not going to be a friendly, fun battle every time.
Oh, they're just sussing each other out. I will say, and I know I think I talked about this a few minutes ago, but you know, there have been some pretty good opportunities to score throughout the first 45 minutes. And I do believe that in the second half that there will be at least 1 goal scored. I think somebody's going to take advantage. Right now, the Monarchs, in my opinion, are on top. But El Paso are very, very dangerous on the counter-attack. So I wouldn't be surprised if they drew first blood. But I agree. I mean, I'm having a great time, first of all. I hope all of our listeners and watchers and viewers and whatever you want to call yourselves are having just as good of a night as we are. Happy Saturday night to everybody. This is the strength of Salgado. Look at this.
Salgado going wide. He's going to try to play it back inside the box. Slayton there to collect, and he'll lay down on that one. And I know I misspoke a little bit earlier. Not 3 games, 4 games.
4 games.
Makes a lot more sense as I was thinking about it. And said 3, 4, 2 home, 2 away. And the Monarchs are going to play at El Paso on the 29th, as that's the whistle for the first half. 45 minutes plus stoppage time, and we're still 0-0 here at Zions Bank Stadium. Tom, there's going to be some action like we talked about happening. Both teams are going to have chances to make some changes as 5 substitutions are allowed.
Right.
But you're going to have to expect someone to step up.
I'm intrigued to see the adjustments that are made from Olave and Lowry, the respective head coaches, because I think it's required. I think Carl Coffey, for example, I think something needs to happen. Luis Arriaga as well for the Monarchs, and a few of the guys up top for El Paso. Some adjustments will be made. I'm intrigued to see what they are.
We're going to toss it to our halftime break, and we'll be back with first half analysis after this. Today's halftime show is presented by America First Credit Union. If you need access to all-star financial products and services, America First is here to help. By MarketStar. Explore something more at MarketStar. Visit marketstar.com for careers. By Ford, America's best-selling brand. Great lease offers, big cashback, and low APR financing are waiting for you at your local Ford store. And by Les Olson & Sharp. Dominate the pitch with an agile workflow. Sharp and Les Olson Company, the official office technology partners of Real Salt Lake.
I swear to fulfill, to the best of my ability, this covenant.
Every doctor takes an oath.
but not every doctor gets to practice it to its fullest.
I will apply for the benefit of the sick all measures required of me.
There's a new healthcare system built around the way you live and the way our profession has sworn it to be.
And may I long experience the joy of healing those who seek my help.
May I be a steward of the new healthcare.
We all have needs, hopes, and dreams. Things to do, places to go, and a life to live. And whatever goals you have, America First is here to help you achieve them. We're here to provide the financial tools and services you need to take care of your family, your home, or your business. We're here to help you keep moving forward. Whatever you need for what matters most, we're here to help. America First, federally insured by NCUA.
Hey, Justin, Jeanette, what's going on?
Hey, DJ, we're just trying to find out ways to keep fans in RSL gear.
And I'm contemplating how to use this F-150 fight hunger in Utah.
Oh, I got it. Have this sweet RSL neck wrap. And thanks to Ford, you can have one too. All proceeds are going to go to help the Utah Food Bank feed families in need. We're hoping to raise $50,000.
Fashion that fights hunger? Now this is a winning combination. Can I get a high five?
Really?
$18,000 can fill a pool of sweet lime jello, buy your personal doggy copter, or maybe get that sweet pair of diamond-encrusted jeans you've always needed.
Nobody puts diamondless denim on these crocodiles.
You'll have to excuse Chuck. He's a little full of himself since we bought and sold our home using Homey.
I save enough money using Homey to move this family thrice. That means 3 times.
If you need to buy a new home, or you want to get the most out of selling your current home, check out Homey today.
Here, in places less known, between Utah's mighty 5 national parks, there are moments that surprise you. Between generations, and between friends. Somewhere between what you expected and what you never imagined. Start planning at visitutah.com.
Atlas Disposal is dedicated to preserving the spaces we share.
We also understand the importance of sustaining our resources.
We're proud to bring our operations to Utah with technologies like zero-emission vehicles and a new recycling system coming to Rio Tinto Stadium starting in 2020.
Together, we can keep Utah beautiful and sustainable for generations to come.
Johnny, I saw that.
See, kids, she does have eyes in the back of her head, but you can help her keep her eyes on the road to get you home safe and sound.
That's good advice.
Protecting those you love is your top priority, but others may not be so careful. If you've been injured in an accident, choose an attorney who will look out for you all along the way so you don't get blindsided by the insurance companies. Craig Swap & Associates, one call, that's all.
I swear to fulfill, to the best of my ability, this covenant.
Every doctor takes an oath, but not every doctor gets to practice it to its fullest.
I will apply for the benefit of the sick all measures required of me.
There's a new healthcare system built around the way you live and the way our profession has sworn it to be.
And may I long experience the joy of healing those who seek my help.
May I be a steward of the new healthcare.
$18,000 can fill a pool of sweet lime jello, buy your personal doggy copter, or maybe get that sweet pair of diamond-encrusted jeans you've always needed.
Needed?
Nobody puts diamondless denim on these crocodiles.
You'll have to excuse Chuck. He's a little full of himself since we bought and sold our home using Homey.
I saved enough money using Homey to move this family thrice. That means 3 times.
If you need to buy a new home, or you want to get the most out of selling your current home, check out Homey today.
Until recently, many youth soccer clubs in the U.S. existed independently from senior teams at both the professional and amateur levels. Many soccer communities didn't even have a local senior team their youth players could aspire towards. As the USL continues to grow and bring more senior teams to communities across the country, the USL Academy platform will build a bridge between youth and professional soccer. By driving collaboration between the local youth network and USL senior team, partnerships are formed, allowing for all organizations to work together in the best interest of long-term player development. Once that pathway is established, USL clubs will be able to field a reserve team, providing the top local high school age players a direct roadmap into the championship, League 1 or League 2 through participation in the new USL Academy League. For more information, visit usl-academy.com.
The USL is proud to bring professional soccer back into our communities and across the ESPN family of networks. Follow your local club and don't miss these exciting matches coming up on ESPN2 or ESPN Deportes.
Dr. George Champus from Northwestern and U.S. Soccer's Chief Medical Officer joins me. The protocols that were created in the case of the USL Championship and USL League One takes well over 50 pages to document. Describe the USL Championship's particular return to play and the role that you played in helping to craft those guidelines.
Yeah, obviously the credit goes to USL. The credit goes to USL, their owners, all the staff, really putting in the work, getting on calls multiple times a week with other leagues, but also recognizing that all the leagues can't be the same, and all recognizing that the elements are different for each of them. And I think it's important to touch on that because it's important for us to be able to create a mitigation strategy, layers of protection that our players are comfortable with, that our public are comfortable with, while respecting the virus. So USL has done a tremendous job. They've invested a lot of time and energy consulting with others to be able to put this forth. Hopefully I was a conduit and someone who provided that medical expertise and brought everybody together. And if we can all come out of this safe and be able to show a model not only for sport but for public, that would be a great outcome.
The RSL Foundation is the philanthropic arm of Real Salt Lake. We connect players to the community, enhance elementary education, build leadership through soccer, and highlight environmentally sustainable projects in Utah. To contribute to these programs and others like it, get your RSL license plate, where $25 from each purchase goes to support RSL Foundation initiatives.
Going to Orlando was a big load for the guys psychologically and physically, so gave a little break and then got after it. It's nice that you get to come in and you have some time to train and not necessarily just be focusing on the opponents, focusing on how we can get ourselves better in different phases of the game. The energy from the guys have been great, and it's nice always being back home.
Just to get the chance again to play the right and to just travel around the country playing in those stadiums as well. Although the fans won't necessarily be there, it's what we're used to and it's what we prefer. In terms of guys being back, it's great to see them again. My whole time here has been spent basically with them, so it's great to have those relationships again and to be back on the field playing with them. We're here and we're ready, and we've got fixtures to get ready for.
Out of the 6 games, every game's going to be super intense, super good team. It's not going to be easy by no means. So this is going to be a very good 6 games to show our evolution as a team and continue to grow in the right direction.
MLS is back.
Real
Real Salt Lake regular season action resumes when they hit the road to face their bitter Rocky Mountain rivals, the Colorado Rapids, on August 22nd.
Rusnak has scored! Douglas Martinez allowed it. Martinez with the chip on Vega. Immediate response from RSL.
Now Krylon! Yes! Damir Krylon!
Catch all the action on KMYU.
Back here on this beautiful Saturday night here at Zions Bank Stadium, still scoreless between these two sides. And Tom, it's something's gonna happen. You just feel it building. Let's check out the team of the week for week 7, and Junior Fleming, 3 goals, that hat trick, and that's gotta feel good. His first hat trick. And another guy on this pitch tonight, Luis Chapa Herrera,
for El Paso.
His brace.
He had a brace, and he scored 2 goals in 2 minutes. I mean, that adds something else to the brace.
And his first professional goal was in the 66th, then in the 68th was to complete that brace. Let's also check out some news and notes around the league here in the USL Championship, and some interesting things. Midway points, obviously the 2020 USL Championship past that midway point of the 15-week regular season, and a big rivalry game. Florida sides, excuse me, Texas sides. There's a Texas rivalry going on as well, but 2 big sides playing each other down in Florida, and you can see it there. Tampa hosts Miami FC, and after coming off a 3-0 defeat in that last matchup, let's check out the scores around the league. New Mexico United, like we mentioned, the other teams in Group C. New Mexico extending their point lead on top of Group C. But some other scores from around the league. Hartford Athletic having themselves a season after they really were not anything special last season, but doing phenomenally well. And, you know, I was listening to Steal Some Time podcast today and listened to Seton O'Connor talk about Hartford, and from Dan Patrick's show, and he is the #1 fan of Hartford Athletic, and that's just kind of one of those random things out there, the most famous fan. Let's check out some highlights from the first half, Tom.
This was Luke Mulholland off an Andrew Brody interception. And look, Luke Mulholland didn't get a great piece of that football, but it warranted a save, and Ketterer was up for the challenge. Here's Luke Mulholland again. I really thought this was maybe the chance of the game, and credit El Paso for deflecting that for a corner, but Noah Powder on his left foot. It just wasn't able to be. And this was late in the first half. Really good Andrew Brody there, man. That is some play to put enough pressure on Gomez, who's coming off a goal over his last 3 games, so he's in form. To put enough pressure on him to allow a pretty simple save in the end by Jimmy Slayton, and then the corner kick, man, in the dying second, Salgado. Talked a fair bit about him in that first half for good reason.
And you have to wonder what Salgado's going to bring here in this second half. He's a guy, did not play or did not start last week, came on as a sub, but he's a guy that you expect to do something. He's had that pedigree. He's played all over the world in different leagues, and he's a guy that has the frame for it, as you're going to see him go up for the header, and has that goal-scoring prowess. And you have to wonder if he's going to do something big here in the second half as Yuma takes down Mulholland. No foul called. Yuma plays it inside the box, pushed wide to Gomez. Gomez shot, flashed just wide in front of goal as Mulholland's still down. It'll be a corner kick. I think it may have taken a deflection, as that's what Brad Jensen is saying, as you're going to see another replay look at that.
Yep, nice work from Jimenez. He got the bottom of his studs onto the ball, and that was enough to push it wide for a corner kick. But boy, El Paso Locomotive coming out all guns blazing in this second half, and peppering Jimmy Slayton and the Monarchs net.
And that ball still had a second opportunity. Short corner here from El Paso. Back to Jerome. Jerome's going to play it in. Looking far. Headed back inside the box. Brody heads it high, and Blake will get the second header. Mulholland, he's got numbers if he goes. Kyle Coffey runs at the center of the defense. He'll push it wide to Arriaga. Ball's a little far too wide for him, but he'll slow it up, and the Monarchs will keep possession. Sam Brown out to Jimenez. Jimenez picks up his head. He's going to drive the ball forward, trying to find Coffee. And then Toko cleared it, but mishit it, and it'll be a corner kick, the first of the second half for the Monarchs, and the 5th of the match for the Monarchs.
Been an exciting start to this second half.
Both sides came rushing out.
It's kind of hard to figure out what the adjustments were at halftime when it's so back and forth, but I'm sure we'll figure that out eventually. Noah Powder will swing this in with his left foot.
Doesn't look like either team made a substitution.
The temperature, we are inside. I do imagine the temperature has settled somewhat, which is maybe a reason.
Powder, he'll swing the ball in. Looking, header. Mulholland rose up nicely, or excuse me, Moberg, but looked like he couldn't hang long enough to direct that one on frame, and it'll go out for a quick throw-in.
El Paso got quite lucky there. Landon quickly. Moberg, that was an open header, unmarked, and the flight to the football beat him in the end, but...
Ross, he'll go forward. Fox is out wide of him. Defended by Brody. Fox tries to play a quick ball in, and it's going to roll out for a corner. And 2 quick corners for El Paso. And if you're Mark Lowry, whatever adjustments you're making, you have to be liking, or have made at halftime, you have to be liking so far in the second half.
Yeah, they look more composed going forward into their attacking third. They have more options as well, which always helps. They went short on the last corner. It'd be interesting to see what they do on this occasion. I imagine they whip one in and see if somebody like Salgado could potentially get on the end of it.
And Toko, ball's going to be played in, not a short corner, headed away by Moberg. Arriaga thought about bringing it down with his chest, plays it a header forward. Jerome is going to take a second ball, pushed in. Jimenez mishits it. Right back into El Paso, but that ball's wasted and quickly pushed in forward to Powder. Sam Brown sitting on a yellow card from the first half. The only Monarch sitting on a yellow card. And on the opposite side, only 1 yellow card shown as well to Chapa Herrera in the 34th. Pay. Taylor Pay spending last season with Louisville City on the losing end of the USL Championship game to the Monarchs, but back with his hometown team, growing up in Salt Lake City, Utah. So Andrew Brody's going to get a ball. And a nice idea there from Taylor Pay, trying to put Andrew Brody in behind. Just one of those that you almost needed that pitching wedge, you almost to sit up on the turf.
Well, it was interesting. I thought Andrew Brody with his speed probably could have gotten there in the end, but he pulled up and decided not to waste the energy. That's a nice ball played into Mahrez.
Heavy little touch there, allowed Taylor Pay to get back into position. Slayton calmly gets it to Taylor Pay. Pay tries to play it forward, chested down by Fox at the midfield stripe. Fox, nice ball in. Gomez out wide. Pay goes out wide. Ball on top of the 18. Shot and a goal there by El Paso here in the 51st minute of play. And the defense of the Monarchs gets beats. And El Paso strikes first here at Zions Bank Stadium.
No, it's a really good build-up, and it's deserving, to be frank. Like I said, the Monarchs, they needed to be careful when they turned the ball over. Taylor Pay turned it over silly. And what a finish that was. One touch, then hit it with his laces. Past Jimmy Slayton, that's Ross.
Nick Ross.
Who gets credited with the goal.
You have to give him credit.
But you can't turn the ball over like that if you're the Monarchs. Taylor Pay just kicking the ball upfield, turning the ball over, giving it back to Locomotive El Paso, and
Gomez tacks on an assist to his name. 51st minute of play. Goal scored by Ross, an assist to Josue Aaron Gomez. And El Paso strikes first.
And we have first blood drawn here, which is exciting. See how the Monarchs respond. I thought the Monarchs were the better team in that first half, but certainly in the second half, it's been El Paso with the number of corner kicks, And then, of course, they're rewarded with the opening goal of the match.
You have to wonder what will come, especially being Shark Week. Blood in the water.
Is it Shark Week on Discovery Channel?
Almost the end of Shark Week.
Oh, dear, I missed it. I'm from Australia.
Being
so
from
I'm
Australia,
not,
you have to be watching that.
I don't love sharks. Landon, I stay away from it as best as I can.
There's some good episodes. Shark Week.
I feel like all the episodes, not to linger on the topic, Hawaii, South Africa, and Australia is
Very
where it's
true.
all. I'm like, oh, I'm good.
Those great whites. So far, the bigger shark in the Great Salt Lake right now
Oh, look
is El Paso. You gotta love the combination there from El Paso and what they were able to do to really connect that. Even with a bad giveaway, they were able to kind of link together and find that opportunity and that goal. MLS is back. Real Salt Lake makes their long-awaited return to Rio Tinto to face last year's MVP Carlos Vela and LAFC on August 26th. Catch all the action right here on KSL TV app when the pregame starts at 7 p.m.
Worth
Gomez.
noting,
Gomez feels like he's feeling it right now.
Yeah, no, he's stepped up a notch, hasn't he? Look, El Paso coming off a game where they scored 4 goals against Colorado. I mean, they put the ball in the back of the net a handful of times. In fact, they were up 4-0 if it weren't for 2 late goals from Colorado. And so they're in some form in the attacking third.
Forward, Ketterer comes out and cuts that opportunity off.
And that's what the Monarchs need to do moving forward, is try to get Kyle Coffey more involved in the game. And when he runs, you've got to offer the run and try and play a ball in. It was the first time any Monarch players had put enough speed on the pass in and behind the back line of El Paso. Previously, it'd come up short and it was an easy pickoff. Here we go.
Opportunity again for El Paso. Numbers for them, 3v2. Ross, Gomez coming out wide of him. Gomez, he'll go towards goal, plays it inside the box, and Powder, Johnny on the spots there to clean it up and push it out for a corner kick. The third of the second half for El Paso. And El Paso seems to be clicking.
Yes, they look really good moving forward, and they're catching the Monarchs off guard. 3v2 is not a position you want to find yourself in often. Credit the Monarchs for deflecting that for yet another corner kick. But there's no doubt this second half is being played on El Paso's terms. They've been tremendous since the main interval.
Locomotive look like they're more on track here in the second half. Seeing if they can figure out how to find number 2. Ball played inside the box, headed away by Pay. Not completely, still inside the 18. Yuma's going to hold it in. Mulholland's going to go forward. And Ross there to challenge. Make sure Mulholland can't go too far forward. Substitutions for the Monarchs. Beavers, Farnsworth, Hasso, Avila, Davis, Vasquez, and Sierakowski on the bench for the Monarchs. On the opposite side, Diaz, Boehner, Zola, Robinson, King, Hallman, and Forda.
Going back to Luke Mulholland quickly, I'd like to see just a little more influence from him in this second. He's a guy that's been around for so long, and he's got so much experience, and we know what he's capable of. And that's playing a very high standard of soccer, and he's just had a hard time as Andrew Brody goes fearlessly into the attacking third of El Paso. It was shut down pretty comfortably in the end. But Luke, he needs to control the middle of the pitch just a bit better than what he has done. You know, you look at Jack Blake, the captain, Luke Mulholland, and you think, well, surely they dominate the midfield battle. And I think they've done a good job, but they do need to find a way to create some really, really dangerous attacking opportunities, something they haven't had a great... As Taylor Pay gives away a foul to Salgado, and that's the height you see troubling even the likes of Taylor Pay, one of the biggest guys on the pitch.
Salgado standing at 6'4". Some height, a nice body frame there to be able to do some nice hold-up play. Fox with the quick restart to Ntoko, to Jerome. The ball's kind of pinging around for El Paso. It seems to be really fluid so far from El Paso, and you have to wonder if Hamas and Alave and company are going to look to make a substitution here real quick as their subs are up and actively moving. El Paso has their subs stretching at the moment. Throw in for El Paso. Pushed away by Powder. Powder trying to turn up a notch on the energy level. And he's one that's kind of disappeared in the last little bits. I'd like to thank all those of you tuning in tonight on ESPN Plus. Appreciate you being part of this broadcast. Whether you're here locally in the state of Utah or in El Paso. Ball inside, Mares. He's gonna go at goal. Opportunity, takes a deflection. I think that went off Pay, and I think there was questions maybe there if Pay's hands were in an unnatural position, but nonetheless, a corner kick coming as we'll see a replay look at that.
Again, it's a really good build-up from El Paso.
Oh, not Pay, Brody, excuse me.
Brody, looked like it came off his face at first.
Yep.
Almost a falcon. We call that a falcon back home. Do you guys say that around here? No, there you go. Learn something new every day.
A new phrase. New phrase from the mate. Yeah? We can go Australian.
Oh, that's all right. I like it.
Not too many Australians here in the league. As Ross is down, the goal scorer, out on the pitch, getting some assistance from the trainer. It looks like we're going to see our first substitution. His night might be done. He's getting his right leg worked on.
I have had conversations with Mr. Elliott Ford, the general manager here at Real Salt Lake, as to maybe we should go on a trip down to Australia, check out the A-League, you know. I mean, Usain Bolt flirts around in the league, you know. Be a fun acquisition for the Monarchs to potentially pick up some added speed, if you will.
We're going to see a recent signing coming on here to replace Ross as Macaulay King coming on last with Indy 11. I believe his nickname is Macaw. So we're also going to see a substitution from the Monarchs, a local product from northern Utah. Providence, Utah to be specific. Julian Vasquez. Join us Wednesday night right here at Zions Bank Stadium for the Monarchs tilt with former RSL striker Devin Sandoval and New Mexico United. Tickets are limited, so call 844-RAL-TIX or visit RalMonarchs.com now. Substitutions both getting their shin guards in, getting final instruction from the coaching staff, specifically from the assistant coaches. Arriaga. Out wide to Moberg. And the defending USL champions trying to see if they can pull one back here in the 60th minute of play. Arriaga finds Mulholland, heavy touch, quickly able to turn it out wide to Brody. Brody looks at the defense, pulls it back towards Jimenez.
This is going to be an interesting subject to continue to talk about. El Paso on the road, probably pretty content with allowing the Monarchs to knock the ball around. Can the Monarchs find space to pepper El Paso back four?
Brody plays it in. Fox able to make sure it doesn't cross the end line. Plays it out for a throw-in. We're going to have our first substitution as Macaulay King will come on, replacing Ross. Monarchs going to make some adjustments, on-field adjustments from assistant coach Matt Glazer. You have to wonder if they're going to slightly adjust the formation at this point to see if they can provide some more into the attack. Big ball played inside the box. Ketterer calls, and it falls awkwardly between his legs, but he's able to collect. And no harm, no foul there.
A bit of confusion, which is, that happens.
And we'd be remiss if we didn't extend our deepest condolences to Paul and Alejandra Foster and entire Foster family on the passing of Preston Foster. Thoughts and prayers are with that family, as well as the rest of the fan base on the passing of Preston Foster. Ball going forward for El Paso. Slowed up as Fox is making an overlapping run. Chapa Herrera, nice little turn there. Keeping it for Gomez. He'll slow it up, playing it back to the captain. And Toko to Jerome. Handful of items of news, excuse me, for El Paso, including the signing of Brett Kallman on loan from Minnesota United, the last remaining NWSL player, NASL player from those days for Minnesota United, signed on Friday. And looking at all the numbers, 3 defenders signed in the last 2 weeks for El Paso, but they're on the front foot offensively as of recent. Kind of been fairly solid defensively so far. Brody into Arriaga. Arriaga's pace is kind of slowed. Wonder if the tank is starting to go on empty.
You wonder if Vasquez is going to come on for the likes of the young Arriaga, as Luke Mulholland started to be able to generate some space. And this is where Brody's most dangerous.
Slicing and dicing in the midfield. Gets it back to Jack Blake. Blake, not knowing there was a defender right on his back, tries to play it to Mulholland, just a touch slow, as Vasquez is going to come on, like you mentioned, for Luis Arriaga.
No surprises there.
Academy product for Academy product. Tonight in the match, 2 Academy players were in the starting 11 for Monarchs, 5 on the bench, with 2 currently finishing their Academy careers in Farnsworth and Davis. Moberg, another long throw incoming. Can the Monarchs take advantage of one of these? Ball played inside. Ball headed out. Mulholland's going to be in a chase. Couple players in a chase. Big shot there from Noah Powder, and Ketterer was almost too high, but able to collect and backpedal into a good position. So you're going to see a replay look at that. Mulholland sliding in, providing Powder with another opportunity. Powder just seems to like that magic from distance, as Moberg's going to be called for the foul. Salgado goes down, and Moberg's going to see yellow on this play.
It's interesting. Hopefully we'll get a replay of the foul, but at first glance, it looked like there was a ton in it.
65th minute of play, second yellow shown to the Monarchs. Now we've reached the average for Brad Jensen, 3 a game. He's through his quota, I guess you could say. Better said, his average.
Still plenty of time left. I'd be hard-pressed to say that there won't be more yellow cards. The Monarchs are going to have to start taking risks. That could potentially open up, I should say, more attacking opportunities for El Paso.
And something you might start to notice is it looks like Vasquez is now sitting higher alongside Kyle Coffey, and you're maybe going to play with 2 strikers up top.
Well, I like that. Well, firstly, you need to score a goal, and so you need more attacking threats, if you will. And I feel as though Kyle Coffey hasn't been all that lively thus far. He's had a hard time playing himself into the game, and as I mentioned, as we talked about in the first half, he is a link-up player, and he thrives when he can bounce the football to his teammate and potentially return it with a nice 1-2, and that could be the role of Mr. Vasquez as play continues here in the second half.
You have to wonder.
Utah.
Yeah, you have to wonder if that's going to be the spark, but now what it's going to do is cause a little bit more opportunity for El Paso in the midfield, because there's not going to be that trio essentially there of Arriaga, Brown, and Blake. Blake's going to find it just outside the 18. Blake looking, trying to find Coffey. Coffey was running the opposite direction. As Gomez, he'll pick up his head. Fox is there with him. Ball going to be played forward into space. And Jimenez and Gomez battling. Gomez gets the better of Jimenez, able to maintain possession. Possession has swung in the favor here in the second half of El Paso, as they've been fairly effective with that possession. The champs are back with 5 out of the next 6 at home. It's time to get on a roll in front of our fans. Tickets are limited, so call 844-REAL-TICK or visit realmonarchs.com now to book your next family adventure. Moberg able to slide it away. Jack Blake picks up his head, finds Powder. Powder, nice little deafening move there to get around the defense. Plays it to Blake. Blake slips as Brody was on the far side waiting to be linked into that play.
I must say, Noah Powder, despite playing left back, is crucial to really any attacking opportunity the Monarchs can muster. And he's had a quiet start to the second half. He's picked it up the last couple of minutes, but the Monarchs are going to score. It looks as though Noah Powder's going to have something to do with it. So they're going to have to try and same with Andrew Brody. You know, Noah Powder, Andrew Brody, 2 very similar players, 2 very attacking fullbacks that like to get involved in the attacking third. And they've been relatively quiet as Andrew Brody attacks yet again.
Brody to Blake. Blake does a good job to get it wide. Powder on top of the 18. Powder inside the box. Gets around one defender, can't get around the second. Andrew Brody complaining pretty heavily. Felt like he got knocked down there. Salgado goes down. Looks like a simple foul. Salgado goes down. Brown frustrated.
Brown has to be careful.
Yep, has to be careful. Sitting on that yellow card as Moberg easily wins the first one. Salgado gets there a second. It's the hands that's laying across the body. Went down easily, Salgado, especially for a guy of his size and strength. But at this point, you're sitting on the road, 69th minutes. You have to kill a little bit of clock.
I mean, it's smart. Don't get me wrong. I didn't think it was a foul personally, but the play and the show must go on. Salgado was on an island by himself, no help, and it was really his only outlet. And fortunately, Jensen, the head referee, warranted his appeal. But the Monarchs are going to have to start finding something. They're going to have to. They're going to be forced to start taking some risks. El Paso is going to be more than comfortable with them doing what they're doing exactly right now, and that's kicking the ball around the back line and trying to generate something up front. But they're going to have to change something up. Much like this, Kyle Coffey's going to get on his bike and get involved.
Kyle Coffey goes towards the touchline, unable to keep it in.
And that's kind of what Kyle Coffey's night's been. He just hasn't found the football enough. And so when he does, you know, his touch isn't quite as good as it normally is. And that is simply a result of not having the football at your feet as often as you would like. Then when you get it, you want to do something miraculous. And on that occasion, anyway, it didn't quite turn out for him.
Ketterer gets his first warning from Brad Jensen, tapping on his watch. I don't know if that phrase is Dame time now, but in the sports world. But definitely tapped on his wrist to let Ketterer know he has to move things along. Sam Brown comes right through the back of Mares. Gomez finding his teammate. Salgado flags up. Good save there by Slayton.
Sam Brown, I'm just telling you, Sam Brown is flirting with danger. Look, it's a physical challenge, and I don't think it's a foul. But there's been 2 challenges in which Brown has made over the last handful of minutes that are scary. I think if you're James Olave or a Monarch supporter, you settle yourself.
Mares is down, getting assistance from
it was almost like
trainer.
It was almost like Sam Brown fell on his leg and maybe, I don't know, hurt his muscles. What do you guys call it? We call it a corky. You guys call it something differently.
A stinger.
A stinger when you get punched in the thigh.
A dead leg.
Dead leg. That's the.
Don't miss out on a minute of the action in 2020. Sign up today and get alerts all year long by following the Monarchs or El Paso Locomotive on ESPN.com. Search for the Monarchs or El Paso Locomotive, then click the follow button to keep up with the latest news and scores, plus get reminders on your favorite team's next match. Go to ESPN.com now and click follow for your club. Quick restart. Looks like he's back up and ready to go. 72nd minute of play. Monarchs trailing 1-0 here to El Paso at home in this Group C matchup. Powder settles. He sizes up the defense, puts a ball inside the box, still inside the area, and goes to Brody. Brody just can't bring his hips back around to put that one on frame. And it'll be wide, as you're going to see a replay look at that one, but a great-looking ball.
It's dangerous. Noah Powder, I think Kyle Coffey might have gotten a flick, and then it just came off the shin.
Came off the shin, yeah. It didn't.
Of Andrew Brody. It just bounced a tad higher than he was expecting and wasn't able to put his laces through it. But
really looked like he was able to get his body around, but it was the shin instead of the laces.
But it's a good look, nonetheless, and Hammerson Olave would have been happy with it.
Slayton gonna let it roll back to him. Salgado chased ball in towards him. Sam Brown.
Going back to that attacking chance for the Monarchs, Noah Powder with the ball in, Andrew Brody with the eventual shot. I mean, those are the two players for me that could potentially really have an impact moving through the next, 20-odd minutes, assuming there's a handful of minutes of extra time.
Monarchs trying to link things up. Jack Blake, Noah Powder, unable to do so as they tried to play that back to Moberg. Kind of a doozy going on between Reno and the Timbers too. Reno scoring 4 in the first half. It's 4-0 at halftime between those two sides. Las Vegas and Orange County still scoreless in that game. So the Monarchs are going to make a double substitution. Looks like Mark Lowry is also going to make a substitution. So Monarchs will make substitution 2 and 3 with Davis and Sierakowski, the other two attacking options on the bench.
I think what you see is as Kyle Coffey comes off, Sierakowski probably makes way for him, and I like that. Sierakowski, the Portland Timbers 2 transfer, has looked dangerous when...
Monarchs going forward, ball in towards Kyle Coffey. Ketterer comes off his line, unable to keep it inside the box. Andrew Brody gets there. He's going to try to play it back inside the area. Yuma clears, as Ketterer just wasn't able to keep that one in his grasp. This ball is going to be clipped forward.
Can we just say, if El Paso ends up getting away with a victory here, Ketterer must sleep very, very well tonight. He's had 3 occasions where he has just gotten away with so much luck and fortune.
Looks like Bodie Davis, the recent homegrown signing, will step on for Luke Mulholland. And then Ryan Sierakowski will come on for Kyle Coffey. Looks like we're going to see Saheed Robinson here shortly, the Grand Canyon University, West Texas University product.
Come here, come here, come here.
And the Monarchs are wondering why it's not a throw-in for them. There's issues going on down there. Sure, not hearing the sound down there, but frustration from the Monarchs bench. They believe it should have been their throw-in. It'll be a throw-in for El Paso. Fox is going to have the throw-in here. Quickly taken. Jimenez. And that's one of those rough plays.
Yeah.
Blake has the ball, or Blake's going for the ball, and you hate to see it. And you hope he's okay.
Well, it just happened so far. I mean, that could be a red card, let's be frank. It's a very dangerous play. Unintentional,
He's going to show him
nonetheless.
yellow. Jack Blake going to see yellow.
He doesn't argue,
And
does
that-
he? I think he's
Yeah, it's one of those
Fortunate.
frustrating yellow cards to see in the 76th minute of play. Monarchs are going to see their 3rd yellow card of the evening. Now 11 yellow cards on the season.
I remember Jefferson Savarino last year, who now plays his football down in South America, but one of the better players Real Salt Lake has ever had a similar challenge, and he
Yeah.
saw red. And so you've seen it before.
It happens.
It does.
We're going to take our hydration break here in the second half and check out some replay, or some highlights here of the second half. And it looks like it's going to be more just a lot of action from El Paso as you see that first opportunity by Gomez flash just wide.
Well, they came out the halftime break, and they were the better team, and they were able to capitalize. And as we see the goal here from Ross, one touch from Mahrez, who had an assist. Left foot beats Jimmy Slayton. And this all came, mind you, off a pretty poor turnover from Taylor Pay, who just kicked the ball back to El Paso in the end. Kyle Coffey tried to get involved, but had a really, really hard go. And then it was back up the other end. Down that left flank, Gomez, that's where he's been most dangerous. Mahrez here, off Andrew Brody. Another corner kick. I mean, they've just dominated this second half, and they're deserving to be up 1-0. As Noah Powder has been... Noah Powder's been very good. Man, I've been impressed with Noah Powder. I've been very, very impressed with Andrew Brody. They just have had a hard time generating anything through the middle of the park.
You're going to see that substitution being made by Mark Lowry. Omar Salgado's night will be done after 77 minutes, and Zahid Robinson will come on. He's got some wheels. I can speak to that. Having played against him in college.
He scored
a guy that has, and we don't have to bring that up. Got a lot of speed. Got a lot of speed.
What happened? How did he do it?
Gotta keep an eye on. We're not even going to talk about it. Guy has 1 goal on the season. And got the start last week, coming off the bench tonight for El Paso. 2nd substitution of the night for them.
I don't claim to be very good at seeing into the future. Oh, he
played forward. Vasquez. Vasquez probably could have continued to go forward instead of cuts back and gets the ball knocked away from him. But Moberg's going to come up for the throw-in.
Like I was saying, I don't claim to be very good at seeing into the future. I could bet my bottom dollar that the next 12, 15 odd minutes will be played on the Monarchs' terms. Can they find something with the fresh legs that they've brought on to equalize?
You'll have to see. Sierakowski, Bodie Davis going to have opportunities. Great ball inside the box, bouncing around. Robinson gets his first touch of the afternoon. Davis pushes it back inside. Monarchs going to try to keep possession. Brody, look to settle. Into Moberg. Moberg trying to clip it forward.
Well, that's a centre-back playing in the attacking third. There was no need for that ball to go in the air. And fortunate the Monarchs were able to get it back. How are they going to get there? That's the million-dollar question. And I'll stand by my word, I think Noah Powder and Andrew Brody are going to be very, very influential if, and it could be a big if, the Monarchs find a way to equalize in this one. It's just they can't generate anything through the center of the park, and that's problematic.
Ball getting switched, looking for Davis, headed away by El Paso. Powder tracking back. Powder looked to have gotten ball. Did not, though, according to Brad Jensen, and he'll see yellow.
Is that the 5th yellow card?
The yellows are starting to flow. 4th yellow card for the Monarchs.
Well, did Jack Blake go on?
Brown, Moberg, Blake, and Powder.
Oh, okay. 5th of the match.
Books. 5th of the match, correct.
I mean, there's nothing in it, but he doesn't get any of the ball. He actually doesn't get any of Robinson either. But it is a yellow card.
For the intent sometimes, it feels like.
Yeah.
Ball quickly played. Zahid Robinson. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Good combination there from Orange County. I have that on my mind looking at that score earlier.
Be nice to be in Orange County right now.
I don't know, quarantine.
Ah, you're right, it's California, quite strict.
Vasquez showing his speed. Academy product in the corner, trying to get around Jerome. A battle ensues. We played forward. Cleared out by El Paso. Good job there to clear lines. Jimenez is going to have it up over his head. He's going to be in a battle there, as Gomez seems to be playing with a lot of confidence. To Blake. Jimenez tries to play it back. Pay is there. Pay's going to play it all the way back to Jimmy Slayton.
Starting to enter panic mode if you're the Monarchs. 82nd minute, down a goal, at home. It would be a very valuable point if they could muster it. They just don't look like they're all that dangerous at the minute. Something has to change over the next 10 or so minutes. But panic mode's certainly starting to creep in for James and Olave.
Especially at home. But the nice thing is that you have to think you've got 2 games in hand. The next 2 games will be played as well here at Zions Bank Stadium. But again, we talked about it earlier. These are games you can't give up, especially at home, losing out on points. As Vasquez is in, flag stays down. He's in the corner. Step over, tries to keep possession, looking towards Davis. No one there, he'll play it all the way back to Moberg.
You just start pressing the issue, taking on passes that maybe you wouldn't normally take on. Because at this point, you don't have a ton to lose. I mean, certainly goal difference comes into the play. But you've got 3 back in Jimenez, Pay, and Moberg, and that should be enough, hopefully, to counter anything a silly turnover would bring.
Brody, he's going to go towards the touchline. He'll try to play it inside the box. Finds Sierakowski's going to take a crack. Looks like it took a deflection. Sierakowski wasn't able to keep that, his body face towards frame, but takes a deflection, fortunate enough for him, and the Monarchs will get a corner kick.
Sound like a broken record, but again, an attacking opportunity prevailed for the Monarchs, and Andrew Brody and/or Noah Powder had something to do with it. As the captain, Blake, stands over this corner kick.
Corner kick coming, 84th minute. Swung inside the box, still inside the box. Pushes out towards Brody. Brody's going to go towards the touchline. He'll put it back inside, headed away. Powder's going to crack it again, and just over the bar. And you have to have a feeling that he wants one of those back because he's been able to get on top of it, just not able to keep it on frame.
Again, technique was superb. You know, he just let it bounce on this occasion, and it just sailed on him. You know, the backspin, it lifts the ball, and I think
a little too much gunpowder.
A little too much gunpowder, sure.
Just be honest.
Sure.
One point it was coffee and powder. Now it's just gunpowder.
Yeah, we like it. We prefer it if it's on target. One of these days, he's going to score one of them, and it'll be USL goal of the week. Here's an opportunity.
Vasquez, he's going to run at the defense. He's inside the 18. Yuma, and the deflection, or excuse me, and the keeper deflects it wide. And a good job as Vasquez went near post and tried to sneak that one in. Didn't have much of an angle, but it was on frame, and Ketterer had to come up and push it wide.
He was off balance. He was off balance when he took the shot, and it was a good save from Ketterer and a good opportunity from the Monarchs. Promising signs the last couple of minutes.
Put inside the box. Pay gets his head on it, and it goes up and over the bar. He just wasn't ready for it and kind of hit his head more than him attacking the ball.
I don't think he was quite expecting it. Moberg, if I'm not mistaken, had first crack, and it sailed over his head, and then, you know, all of a sudden the ball appears, and that's, you know, one of the hardest shots from a corner kick to execute is finding a way to put that on target.
Fans follow the Real Monarchs and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN+, home of the USL, MLS, UFC, and more. Join the nearly 8 million sports fans who have already discovered ESPN+ and watch the championship live every week. Sign up today at espnplus.com.
Oh dear, okay. It could get ugly here over the next handful of minutes. Jack Blake went in with studs up. We may get a replay, and we do. Studs were showing somewhat. You disagree?
I think his studs were face down, but the intent a lot of times is what comes in those situations. Looks like he's just going to get the warning and the benefit of the doubt.
Jensen is known to give yellow, and Blake is on a yellow card. And look, if you go down a man, the game's essentially over. So
hasn't given a red card here in his USL Championship days. Gomez kind of mishits that, and Slayton comes out quickly. If he could have got that across, it might have been another good opportunity. That ball's going to go forward, going to come through, and Brody's going to rush forward and just out of the reach of his right leg, and it'll be a throw-in for El Paso. 87th minute of play. We're getting late here in Harriman, Utah, as El Paso's looking to lock up the 3 points.
I've been really impressed with Gomez for El Paso, specifically on their left side in this second half. He's been all over the shop, creating attacking opportunity after attacking opportunity, and he is, in my opinion, the reason El Paso have been able to go up a goal and keep it that way.
I'd agree with you. He's been phenomenal. 3 goals in 3 games coming into tonight. Hasn't found the back of the nets.
He did have
the assist on the goal, and has just looked very confident. And sometimes that's what you get with guys as the Monarchs build play. Ball clipped into the box. And a diving El Paso player. Monarchs going to get a second opportunity at it. Brody clips it in a second time. It's going to come out to Powder. Powder plays it in. It's going to be cleared long for El Paso. Boberg's going to track it down just across the midfield stripe. He'll play it over to Pay. 88th minutes.
Seems like the Monarchs are going back to Brody. They like this right side. They've been dangerous the last couple minutes here. Noah Powder's not a bad option, though.
Powder to Davis. A young academy product. Getting some touches. Over to Brown. Jimenez is going to pick up his head. Sierakowski making a run across. Ball played inside the box, and no one was home. Probably not the best option in that situation, keeping possession. But if you're El Paso, that's what you like to see.
Sure.
Kind of meaningless attack going forward.
I mean, it wasn't a bad ball. It went into a dangerous area. The problem for the Monarchs was there was nobody there. So he put a cross into nobody, which is, 89 minutes into a game, 1-0 down at home. It's certainly not ideal. You'd rather play Brody on the right, see if he can dance and weave his way into some space. But nonetheless, looks like Ketterer is getting a yellow card from Jensen.
Ketterer will see yellow here in the 88th minutes. He got his warning earlier, like I mentioned. It's one of those things that he was tempting fate at some point. Sierakowski is going to go towards Ketterer, make him pick it up. 89th minute of play.
This is where the Monarchs, they need to push forward and they need to press. They can't allow...
At some point, you have to sacrifice one of your defenders, probably Powder. Robinson. Clip there. Yuma. Vasquez unable to get it to his teammates. Ball pinging around. Vasquez out wide to Davis. Davis unable to keep it in, and the flag goes up. It'll be out of play, and a throw-in coming from El Paso. Stoppage time will be announced here shortly as we're just about to enter stoppage time.
And that's the difference, in my opinion, from the Monarchs this year and the Monarchs last year. And the Monarchs, granted, last year, they lost so much talent. But late in a game, you've got to be as clean as you've ever been. And the link up there between Davis and Vasquez wasn't. And that'll separate teams from a handful of winning games to potentially not, or in this case, picking up a point.
Stoppage time tonight is brought to you by America First Credit Union, the official credit union of the Monarchs. 5 minutes of stoppage time announced. Just not crisp enough. Jimenez is going to battle. Nice little idea there. A bad giveaway there by Vasquez.
It's 2 bad giveaways from Vasquez in 2 minutes.
Robinson is going to get on his horse and ride.
You talked about his speed, didn't you?
Moberg is going to go down. Moberg put himself in a position where at that point you're afforded that opportunity to kind of pull it up, especially as you're on tired legs here in the 90th plus. 1 minute unofficially almost through this stoppage time. Vasquez, nice little slide there to get under it. frustration. Gomez with Jimenez. Gomez and Jimenez gonna battle. Gomez does a nice job to go towards the corner. He goes down still with it in the corner. And a goal kick will be given to the Monarchs.
Win for the Monarchs.
As we're getting later in this match, Monarchs have to do something. Numbers have to start going forward.
I just have a hard time seeing where the Monarchs are going to find this goal from, Landon.
Jack Blake picks up his head, gets the ball back to Brody. Brody's been an Energizer bunny on that far side. Into Vasquez. Vasquez able to keep it, puts a shot towards frame. Jack Blake was tantalizingly close to hitting that as well. I'm sure there was some conversation will be had after this because Blake wanted to crack that with his preferred right foot. Ketterer takes his time, ball played high and long. Jimenez wins the header. Brody goes up. And Toko will play it out, and it'll be a throw-in for the Monarchs. Quickly taken. Vasquez will try to hold it up. Tries a little heel flick to get around Fox. More than anything, probably to maintain possession and get the throw-in. Brody back to Jimenez. Jimenez with the hands on his knees as Taylor Pay now sitting high for the Monarchs. Monarchs playing with the 3 back. So we're unofficially through 2.5 of the 5. Ball wide to Brody. Now you got to get balls served into the box as you've got a big center back playing forward. Moberg. He'll play it up over the top, trying to find Powder. And that one's cut out.
Monarchs do seem content to continue to play. That's a mistake from Moberg.
It's got to be better as Jimenez's legs are just gassed. Monarchs tracking back. Gomez has a chance to stay kind of in that corner space. Jimenez will go towards him. He'll be knocked out, and it'll be a throw-in for El Paso. Looks like Diaz is going to make his way into this match here momentarily. 93rd plus of 95.
Give all the credit to El Paso, and I've been very impressed with how they've gone about their business. Thought they were caught on their heels for the better part of that entire first half, and then they were exceptional at the start of the second, rewarded with the goal, and from then on it's they've essentially killed the game. There haven't been too many chances that the Monarchs have had where you've thought, man, they look like they're going to score. So
Mares is going to be ushered off the field.
In no rush.
It's always frustrating when you're the home side.
But let's be frank, if the Monarchs were on the road in the same position, they'd probably kill the same game.
It's how you kill off a game.
Part of the game.
It's what you got to do.
Yeah. All right, we're into the last minute. One last chance. Jimmy Slater needs to get this ball up. That'll be Moberg instead. Taylor Pay still at the point of attack.
Moberg. He'll play a big ball forward. Looking to find Pay. Ball's going to bounce inside the box. Jack Blake going forward towards it. And Gomez still with those legs. You just got to, or Chapa Herrera, excuse me. You got to love the work rate from him tonight.
Will Jensen give the Monarchs one last chance?
Almost here done.
Seems like he will.
90 plus. Blake. Can he get it wide to Brody? Andrew Brody, wide, dancing. Can he get inside the box? Clips it in, trying to find someone's head, and cleared away. He'll try to get around. Looked like that was a handball, but nothing called as Gomez is going to play forward. Vasquez gets all ball there.
Well, I think that was a missed opportunity from the sideline referee, because to me that looked like a handball on Fox, but it seems like the fourth official has his...
Could be argued there. Vasquez, and this one's going to kill it off, I believe.
That should be it, shouldn't it?
And
well done to El Paso.
Good little victory there for El Paso as they're going to take 3 points from the Monarchs here at home. Maybe we're going to get a little longer. We'll see. Brad Jensen
It's offside.
Gonna call the flag up here on that near side. And can the Monarchs get another one forward? Maybe I spoke a little too soon. There we go. There's the final whistle, and the Monarchs are gonna fall 1-0 to El Paso here at Zions Bank Stadium. What's gonna feel a little frustrating late for the Monarchs, but a good win there for El Paso.
Certainly.
And you've gotta speak to the way they played today. They came out making adjustments in the second half to find victory.
I think the difference between the two teams was the attacking prowess. El Paso with the likes of Chara and Gomez. I thought they were just too good in the end, and it's been a problem that the Monarchs have had throughout the course of this entire season. They just can't seem to find somebody at the striking position that's a go-to target, much like our good friend Douglas Martinez was last season. So that headache will continue for Jamerson Olave, but congratulations to Lowry and his El Paso Locomotives team on a victory on the road. Hard to do.
Hard to do. Monarchs fall 1-0 here at Zions Bank Stadium. We're gonna take a quick break, and we be back with post-game here in this Western Conference matchup.
We all have needs, hopes, and dreams. Things to do, places to go, and a life to live. And whatever goals you have, America First is here to help you achieve them. We're here to provide the financial tools and services you need to take care of your family, your home, or your business. We're here to help you keep moving forward. Whatever you need, for what matters most, we're here to help. America First, federally insured by NCUA.
Here, in places less known, between Utah's mighty 5 national parks, there are moments that surprise you. Between generations, and between friends. Somewhere between what you expected and what you never imagined. Start planning at visitutah.com.
Back toward the middle, presses there again. 2 goals in 2.
In the area, one touch. Oh my goodness!
Atlas Disposal is dedicated to preserving the spaces we share.
We also understand the importance of sustaining our resources.
We're proud to bring our operations to Utah with technologies like zero-emission vehicles and a new recycling system coming to Rio Tinto Stadium starting in 2020.
Together, we can keep Utah beautiful and sustainable for generations to come.
Hey, Justin, Jeanette, what's going on?
Hey, DJ, we're just trying to find out ways to keep fans in RSL gear.
And I'm contemplating how to use this F-150 to fight hunger in Utah.
Oh, I got it. Have this sweet RSL neck wrap. And thanks to Ford, you can have one too. All proceeds are going to go to help the Utah Food Bank feed families in need. We're hoping to raise $50,000.
Fashion that fights hunger? Now this is a winning combination. Can I get a high five?
Really?
We all have needs, hopes, and dreams. Things to do, places to go, and a life to live. And whatever goals you have, America First is here to help you achieve them. We're here to provide the financial tools and services you need to take care of your family, your home, or your business. We're here to help you keep moving forward. Whatever you need, for what matters most, we're here to help. America First, federally insured by NCUA.
Hey, Justin, Jeanette, what's going on?
Hey, DJ, we're just trying to find out ways to keep fans in RSL gear.
And I'm contemplating how to use this F-150 to fight hunger in Utah.
Oh, I got it. Have this sweet RSL neck wrap. And thanks to Ford, you can have one too. All proceeds are going to go to help the Utah Food Bank feed families in need. We're hoping to raise $50,000.
Fashion that fights hunger? Now this is a winning combination. Can I get a high five?
Really?
Nice day for a ride.
Hey, you're Craig Swap.
You know, not everyone sees you when you're on two wheels. So stay alert and always keep your eyes on the path ahead.
That's good advice.
See you at the top.
Nice shorts.
You can't always predict what might sneak up and catch you by surprise. If you've been hurt by the carelessness of others, choose the law firm that will go the distance to get you the settlement you deserve. Craig Swap and Associates, one call, that's all.
We all have needs, hopes, and dreams. Things to do.
Back here at Zions Bank Stadium. Tonight's post-game show is brought to you by Ford. All the power, all the tech, all the peace of mind is all behind the wheel of a Ford all-wheel drive SUV made to take on any road condition and priced to sell only at your local Ford. Ford, go further. Let's check out the defensive play of the game, brought to you by Beeline Pest Control, your partner in defending your home from unwanted pests. Whatever the pest, Beeline is the best. So you're going to check out this play.
Certainly. Mahrez playing the ball in, trying to find Gomez, their point man at the point of attack, and Andrew Brody does a great job just getting enough contact on Gomez to throw him off, and a pretty easy save in the end for Jimmy Slayton. But credit Andrew Brody there. That's the sort of work rate that Andrew Brody brings to the Monarchs. It's fun to watch.
And you've got to love that. Well, Monarchs fall 1-0 here at Zions Bank Stadium in a game that you really couldn't drop 3 points, but the nice part is you're back in action real quick. Back in action here Wednesday night against New Mexico United, August 19th. And we'll check out the schedule here in a sec, but it's quick, hard hitting for the next week. So you really have to forget this one quickly if you're the Monarchs and move forward and see if you can figure out the issues that you encountered tonight.
Which is easier said than done, mind you. And I think, the biggest headache for James and Olave would be, who does he start at the point of attack? I mean, how can they generate attacking opportunities through the center of the park and stop relying on the likes of Noah Powder and Andrew Brody out wide to put a ball in and find someone that way? Jack Blake's too good. Luke Mulholland's too good of midfielders, central midfielders, to not have as little of an impact as they did tonight. They're the type of guys that should be able to find space, create space, and play other teammates into space centrally. And I think that's what James and Olave will be most frustrated with following the 1-0 loss tonight.
And if you're Mark Lowry, now you're sitting on 11 points, still behind 2 points behind New Mexico United, but you're in a position where you're playing the switchbacks who you just throttled a week ago 4-2, really what could have been 4-0. But the thing is, for them, they're in a good spot.
Right.
Coming into that game, a chance for 3 additional points. But on the flip side, you got to continue to think for the Monarchs. You still have a game in hand.
Yep.
You're still in a situation where you can get points. Let's check out the upcoming schedule for the team, and that will really give a look at what needs to happen. New Mexico, you get twice. 8 p.m. here at Zions Bank Stadium, Wednesday, Saturday. And then you have to head on the road to El Paso. And then you've got Tacoma here, and then on the road to Colorado Springs. So some winnable games. Tacoma is obviously one you circle that you've got chances at. New Mexico are going to be challenges. But there's a lot to be had for that situation.
You'd like to have Sandoval if you were James and Olave. We'll see him, who's now on the New Mexico team. It'll be a fun matchup against New Mexico over the coming nights.
MLS is back. Real Salt Lake makes their long-awaited return to Rio Tinto Stadium to face last year's MVP Carlos Vela and LAFC on August 26th. Catch all the action right here on the KSL TV app with the pregame starting at 7 p.m. Join us Wednesday night right here at Zions Bank Stadium for the Monarchs tilt with former RSL striker Devin Sandoval and the Group C leading New Mexico United. Tickets are limited, so call 844-REAL-TIC or visit realmonarchs.com now. The Champs are back with 5 out of the next 6 at home. It's time to get on a roll in front of our fans. Tickets are available and limited. Call 844-REAL-TIC or visit realmonarchs.com now to book your next family adventure. From our wonderful production team, all the crew making these wonderful, beautiful shots happen, the guys in the back of us, we'd like to sign off and say goodnight. Tom Hackett, I'm Landon Southwick. We'll catch you Wednesday night here on ESPN Plus at 8 p.m. Today's game is brought to you by Ford, America's best-selling brand. Great lease offers, big cash back, and low APR financing are waiting for you at your local Ford store. By MarketStar. Explore something more at MarketStar. Visit marketstar.com for careers. By Steward Healthcare, the official healthcare provider of Rail Monarchs. Visit stewardutah.org.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.